In the UK, MPs have voted in favour of COVID-19 certificates for venues and large events, with 369 voting in favour of it and 126 against. MPs also extended the use of face coverings to most indoor settings in England as part of stricter measures to tackle the Omicron variant. People currently in managed hotel quarantine will also be permitted to leave early, but anyone currently quarantining who tests positive for COVID-19 will be required to remain. I'm joined now by political commentator Jonathan Liss. Jonathan, good to have you on the programme. So Boris Johnson faced one of the biggest wobbles, you could say, of his premiership. The opposition was his unlikely ally, it seems.
Well, that's right. We know that there are 126 votes against the COVID passport measure, which, as your viewers will know, is very common across much of Europe, but still doesn't exist in England. We don't yet know exactly how many Conservatives vote against, but it could well be around 80 or more than 80, which would mean that it was the Labour Party which got this vote over the line. That's objectively terrible for any government to have to rely on the opposition to get its agenda across, particularly when there is such a large majority as Boris Johnson has. And so really, it's not just about COVID. It's also about Johnson's opponents on the benches behind him, that they are becoming emboldened to oppose him, and that spells real trouble for his authority.
So rebels from within his party are opposing him, and you said this wasn't purely a vote about the measures, that it possibly was against Boris Johnson himself. Does it also have something to do with the Downing Street Christmas party scandal, perhaps?
Absolutely. And even people who are sympathetic to these measures think that it's part of a distraction tactic by Downing Street to stop people talking about the law breaking at Downing Street, which Johnson may or may not have known about. It seems that he also participated in, according to photographs on the weekend. And so a lot of people are very angry about that. And I think it's a justified criticism that the government is using COVID as a political tool. Even people who believe that there should be tighter measures to counter Omicron believe that Downing Street is weaponising this issue for its own political capital, which is obviously terrible in a situation where you need public support and trust and goodwill to actually implement these measures.
So if the Prime Minister is weaponising COVID, as you say, where does he then go from here?
Well, we have a real problem, don't we? Because, as we're talking about, Omicron may be milder than other variants of COVID, but it's spreading very, very fast. There are 200,000 cases, it's estimated, in Britain yesterday alone. And so it could get to the stage where the NHS, the National Health Service, is severely obstructed by this variant. And then there'll be calls for further measures to target it. And it's really unclear at that point how far the public will support it, how far Johnson's own party will support it. So the problem seems to be mounting then.